Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Ekmak, this is Let's Play Nocturnal Sweeping. I'm curious, how close are we for Rio? Ooh, we're not very close for Utis at all. Anyway, in the last episode we keep getting, our guide keeps walked us into an ambush. He probably can't be trusted, but we're going to keep going because we've got nothing better to do. So yeah, Rezan. Clear within 10 turns, another slash enemy. Should be fine. Oh, we could give him a different ego here. Unfortunately, it looks like... Oh. All of his HE require gloom. I suppose it makes sense that he's the guy who would have the most gloom requirements, but... Ooh, that's unfortunate. Oh dear. They aren't kidding. Gloom is kind of a really critical... Gloom is actually an extremely critical resource for so many ego. Not having any in this current party is quite the problem. In fact, I want to check something. We'll be able to get one gloom resource if we pick up the new Utis, but that's not going to be easy.
Wild hunter.
We were on a desperate run, all the while fighting off hordes upon hordes of enemies. Wait, what happened to safe and easy passage? Explain this shite. It appears that the young master's radiant countenance was made known. I thought we were finding a more clandestine passage. How come we're getting jumped by even more enemies? As I have said, the young master's radiant... At least try to give a little variation to your excuses! I cannot so easily say that he is being untruthful, given the disjointed allegiance of the enemies attacking us. Utis played with the pamphlet in her hand, clearly frustrated but unable to establish anything concrete. For people without clear allegiances to attack a member of the Jia family... Looks like everyone in the backstreets has been getting pretty plucky while I was away. Back then I couldn't even catch a glimpse of their faces. They'd all be on their hands and knees whenever we walked past. What a wonderful change! Oh, shove that wonderful change up your ass, you bloody loon! How much longer till we get there? My Kazan is near, calm your worries. Our guide seems oddly calmer now than he did at the beginning of this journey. Did he really get numb to all the violence that fast, or... Speaking of which, what's a Kazan? Honestly, I think the bigger twist would be if he isn't evil at all. Because it's very clearly making him out to be the bad guy. It is a term commonly used to refer to taverns, inns, or equivalent places of lodging in this region. Lodging, huh? Like a hotel? It's gotta be pretty fancy then, huh? Do they serve like complimentary snacks and drinks like the warp train? Not sure about that, but it seems like Kazans also serve alcohol and food alongside their lodging services. Maybe we can get a meal in there. Ugh. Hopefully we won't be attacked there like this. Residential non-aggression taboo. Any mutual acts of violence inside a residential building is, within this particular area and floor of Hongman, a taboo. A taboo. We may rest easy within then. I saw Force's eyebrows slightly twitch, as though she had just heard the most ridiculous thing. But I guess I'll ask her about it later. Man, if it's some kind of family hierarchy or family head election song test, why couldn't they save all this fighting until then? Because it would be too late. Huh? Late how? Every hierarch candidate must have brought incredibly precious treasures with them. It would be nice if they believed that their own treasure is the most precious of them all, but everyone's going to try and take each other's just to be sure. I see. Just in case someone else brought something even better than their own. And might as well kill them too for the sake of convenience. Is that how the folks in your family think? What kind of line of thinking is that? But other families didn't seem too different from mine. Damn. Deepest apologies for intruding upon this most enthralling conversation. However, we may be inviting further trouble by dallying here. With that, the guide pulled out a watch to check the time. It will be nighttime soon. So, gotta be careful of those sweepers then. Sharp looking stranger, so basically what we've seen already, and they aren't even getting higher level, great. Give us the Strider Mao and the haste boost. Wreck some heads with her curse engraving sword. Hopefully. I mean, yeah, it gets 2 haste on use, so yeah. It'll be 7 haste. That's enough to push her fortress into an 11.
죄인인가?
At least they're more commonly blunt resistant than pierce resistant, so we aren't totally down. Now the question is, what's going to happen when we get to the actually dangerous enemies of this round? I wasn't thinking about how the reinforcements would come with 2 skill slots, I was thinking about something else. Darn it! I did make you tier 4, so she does get the... She should be getting the base power bonus there. I think that should be a killing blow with Honglu at least. Assuming no one else gets a hit off on him. There's no need to be flashy, but we might as well be flashy.
그렇게 황홀히 피어나고 피어나라.
Now here we are. Is this the place? After the running through the alleyway after turning corner after corner, we finally came across the site of several small buildings tightly built next to one another. At the center of them was a building lit with red lamps, adorned with a door plate with complicated looking letters scribbled over it. This is shoddier than I was expecting. Hey, isn't this place a bit too trashy to house your precious young master? That is not our building. Please, look this way to see where our honored guests will be staying for the night. I knew it! I heard so much from Honglu about all the splendor, all the... We followed King Tao's finger and arrived at the small warehouse of sorts, its exterior painted in black. That looks smaller than even Mephistopheles. Can we even all fit in there? Hey, that place looks trashy as heck even for us, let alone your young master. This is the nearest Kazan we could afford to stay in, at least amongst the ones that I manage, yet its location in the back streets heavily limits the level of decency it can afford. My deepest and sincerest apologies, young master. Don't worry, we can't always sleep in decent places. It looks just fine for an overnight stay to me. Are you nuts? Can that thing even fit all of us in there? Much did I wish to guide the honored guests to the family mansion in the central zone. However, at the time... Oh, the sweeping wave. Doesn't that start at 3:13 in the morning? I feel like we've got plenty of time to get there. Exactly, don't we have more than enough time to get to the family mansion? According to the H-Corp travel guide, the central area is only like an hour away from here. Has the honored guest travelled to the District 8 before? Well, no, this is my first time here, but there's definitely an art style difference here. Then one must ask how the honored guest could claim to have the full understanding of a place merely by flipping through a book, when she hasn't had to contend with it in person. Innumerable, unpredictable changes await within this teeming jungle of buildings. The ever-shifting structures, the constantly changing paths, ambushes from foolish yet vicious syndicates, or even officers of the backstreets. We are beset by danger from all sides. Such bold, flippant approach to predicting the phenomena of this place is to court death. Even a toddler must know that. One fails to disguise his utter sorrow at the inadequacy of her wisdom. Is it just me, or are we all thinking back to Ishmael back at the Great Lake? Zip it, Dante. But if the guidebook lists a path, does it not imply that it is technically possible to reach there in time? Uta suddenly took a step forward. In her hand was the H-Corps travel pamphlet that Ishmael was talking about. I have faith that if our executive manager would lead us in your directionally challenged stead, they would be able to lead us to our destination before night falls. Me? This does not appear to have been discussed beforehand. Very well, allow me to speak freely without frills. My responsibility is to bring the honoured guests to the central zone to ensure that the young master's safety. It is indeed technically possible to reach the family mansion before the night in the back streets commences. Technically. Yet, not even one iota of danger to the young master shall be permitted. The mission has been so graciously bestowed upon this humble servant is not to guide the young master with haste, but to guide him with the utmost safety. Oh. It is said that those engaging in strategies and plans must remain wary of losing sight of their purpose. To stubbornly forge onward toward the family mansion in lieu of necessary intel, to see when these mobs of assailants would end, is to wrongly prioritize the journey over the destination. You. Wonderful. Truly impressive. You have all the qualities of someone I would trust with my life when devising a stratagem. This is the most fitting attitude for those who genuinely wish the best for those they serve. Really? You're just gonna start going along with him all of a sudden? I have misunderstood your intentions, truly. They sparked my ire by comparing some of your choice words with my very own. Yet now my eyes have been opened to the honest loyalty that lies within your heart. This humble servant did not imagine, even in his wildest dreams, that there would be someone who understands the fathoms of his loyalty. It seems young master certainly has gained an eye for allies and fellowships. This is a cause for much relief in my heart. Listen to him. This one knows how to jest. They're basically best buds now, huh? I may have lost my cool for a moment there. Anyway, this man speaks true. It is highly likely that we'd be exposed to attacks of similar nature were we to continue moving at this time. She's just fully on his side now, isn't she? That's when I realized that she was looking in my direction. The exaggerated smile had completely faded from her face, replaced with an odd but dead serious expression. When our gazes locked, she nodded. She must be completely turned around by that guy. Is that this way of her saying, so long, I'm gonna quit and go work with this guy now, thanks for everything? And as for this hotel, it is still much better than sleeping in outdoor tent barracks. We should be able to relieve ourselves of some fatigue here before moving on. Did you not earlier insist on continuing our search for better accommodation with the greatest vehemence, Miss Utis? Yeah, whatever, we get your point. Let's go inside. My humblest self can only behold your generous acceptance of this insufficient lodging with the deepest gratitude. After all that serious talk, the man oddly seemed relieved to hear our decision as he brought his fist and palm together. Architecture of today mustn't be judged with haste merely by an observation of their exterior. The interior may hold aught to be surprised of. Worry not. With Rodian surrender, wouldn't that be nice? We made our way into the building. This actually ain't so bad. It's clean in here. This place presents a rather classical aesthetic. The landscape paintings lining the walls give off a rather sophisticated mood. And it's much more spacious inside than it looks from the outside. Did they use some kind of space expansion technology in here too? No. It seems that the building only appeared small due to the density of the structures in proximity. Optical illusion. Okay, got it. Well, the door is now open should my presence be required. I shall be in the small shed next to this building. Please do converse freely. The man smiled awkwardly and quietly excused himself as the excitement among the sinners began to grow. Meanwhile, Hong Lu stood a fair distance from the guide, quietly watching his face as he left. His expression was enigmatic, as if he were gazing upon the clouds, the flowers, or even the wind. Yet there was no light in those eyes. It was as if they beheld a storm cloud, a desolate field of wilted flowers, a howling destructive gale. Do you suspect something, Hong Lu? So I decided to ask. Not yet, I don't think. Huh? Not yet. So, big brother, something fell off to you too, huh? That's when we caught a familiar voice. Oh, Zishong, it's you, and so soon too! Yeah, I told you I had a feeling we'd be seeing each other again very soon. Have you been well, young master? I'm so glad to see that you're doing well, Mr. Wei. Oh wait, don't tell me. You're staying here too, Zishun? I normally wouldn't have ever set foot in a place like this, but I ran into some kind of large-scale construction on my way back to the family mansion. Had to come in through the back streets. So we weren't the only ones troubled by that random construction site. Oh, hail to thee! It certainly says a lot about the power of someone if they're able to just casually drop construction work in the middle of the road to force people into the back streets where they can be ganged upon to try and steal their loot. We've got some trouble ahead of us in the next canto. God. The confident look on Zishun's face was immediately replaced by that of alarm. Did she lose her memories again? Is she with you? No, Don Quixote's the same as always. But she looks like such an airhead. Young Zishun, well, wouldst thou accompany to the lounge but a moment so that we may share a moment of catching up? Oh, yeah, actually, let's do that. Hold on. Xia Shun seemed to hesitate for a moment, staring at Don Quixote after hearing that her memories were intact. Before walking right up to her, I like that idea, shall we? Wait, why don't you go and find a room for me to stay in while I talk some things out with her? What, you wanted to do some catching up, right? 'Tis Manager Esquire! Loss of critical personnel may be a cause for disciplinary action, Dante. I don't think there's anything wrong with making friends, though. Looks like Zishun really likes Don Quixote if she's comfortable enough to tease her like that. It's not Don Quixote she likes, she obviously just wants Don Quixote's powers she saw back then. My lady, this is hardly the appropriate place for... Fine, I'll try again later. Go get some sleep, I'm heading in too. Zishun sighed with a bit of disappointment before heading into the lobby. Well, let's all head inside now. So I and the rest of the sinners followed her into the lodging. What if this place isn't covered by sweeper immunity?
오랜 목마름도 어버이를 향한 죄책감도 피를 마시는 순간에는 생각나지 않을 거다. 그러니 가릴 것 없이 마음껏 마셔. 그게 우리가 이룰 수 있는 유일한 꿈이니까.
Okay, so just story, we can jump into this. Suspicion, huh? Everyone was busy looking around and commenting on various things in our lodging, but Sinclair appeared to be the most anxious of them all. Sinclair? Something in here stands out. Like, imagine an ideal picture. Did you call? Oh, we use the term ideal. Aw, I missed that jokey saying. That's not what I'm not... Anyway, am I the only one who feels like something stands out like a sore thumb from the whole picture? Oh, yeah, glad you brought it up. I didn't say anything because I thought it was just me. Rhodia? So, what's so off about this place? Isn't it obvious? Where'd all the complimentary snacks go? Where's that weird mystery table? What's that weird mystery table that they sent over this room? Man, they really were on the same page with that. Huh? That is kind of weird though. What's that table doing there? Oh, my mistake. It's actually that... Rodian is complaining about all the complimentary snacks, and Sinclair is talking about the weird mystery table. Its saturated colours are quite the pleasant sight to behold. So, is it any better inside? What the hell is that hideous table? The kerfuffle sparked by the particularly unsightly piece of indoor furniture calmed somewhat once everyone made inside the building. Of course, no one was able to discern the real purpose of that table yet. Every step on the floor leaves black residue on the shoes. Not only on the floor, touching the walls leaves an unidentifiable black substance on one's fingers. Not to mention how the walls ripple in an odd fashion. What could be the construction of this structure? Is this a sweeper nest he just let us into? Well, my guess is that the maintenance staff's been slacking. Maybe, but why is everything so neatly organised if that's the case? I've been into enough seedy establishments to tell when a place has gone a while without a tidy up. At least it appears that each room is furnished with a bed. While this is far from optimal, Executive Manager, we may be able to rest here. I guess they really didn't have the time to clean up. Jia Zishun, the last one to walk in after taking her time with examining the area outside the lobby, stared blankly around the room with an aghast expression. I'm not even sure what to say to this ridiculous negligence. Then found her room after leaving a scathing remark. It ain't the first time we've sawn right into some shady business in it. Let's just cross that bridge when we come to it, yeah? I guess. Anyone could tell that there was something definitely wrong about that guy. Some sinners, including Heathcliff, had already slumped to the floor, vociferously expressing their desire to rest with a collective sigh of exhaustion. Well, it is pretty weird, but at least we have a roof over our heads. In that case, Dante, perhaps this may be a good time to announce today's close of business. I've never made this announcement outside of the bus before. Oh, right, I hereby confirm today's close of business with the sinners. Understood. Thank you kindly. Starting now, you will all be given maximum of 12 hours to partake in sleep and rest. The duration is subject to change. Have a good night. As soon as she finished, the sinners each began to relax in their own ways, some stumbling into their rooms while others lingered to speculate over the bizarre table at the center of the room. Save for Utus. That is... Got something to say, Utus? Yes, Executive Manager. It's about our guide, King Tao. Oh, your new best friend from earlier? Seemed like you guys were getting along pretty well. What? That is simply untrue. Did you not see the signal I gave you earlier? What signal? Oh, you mean when you nodded slightly in my direction? Indeed, that individual has an informational advantage over us when it comes to this locale. Regardless of how sound the accusations we came up with were, he would have been able to explain them away using his familiarity with the region. I thought, as the party with an informational disadvantage, it would be wise to feign camaraderie and friendship with that individual, and go along with our plans while trying to dig out as much intel as possible. I seriously thought that suspicious guy won you over. Executive Manager, I've been in this business for many years. How could you even imagine I would be fooled by an amateur spy who's so overtly suspicious? It's nothing. Utus's disappointment was palpable, but she stopped herself as though she remembered that there were more important matters at hand. While it is uncertain to us how long that individual will be accompanying us, it would be reasonable to speculate that he approached the LCCB with explicit purpose of eliminating Honglu, Jia Baoyu. I present the fact that it was Pilot, that inexperienced greenhorn, who somehow inconveniently came across this connection, as another evidence supporting the suspicion. That's also true. Forst also has information to share. Forst joined the conversation after listening to us discuss for some time. A review of every known taboo has failed to identify one he can call residential non-aggression taboo that universally prohibits acts of violence within residential areas. Then that also has to be... It is too early to come to conclusions regarding that matter. It appears that this area, Hongyang, has taboos that change depending on your location within its territory. However, considering every other circumstantial evidence, we can come to a conclusion that he's most likely lying to us. Your assessment cannot be denied. In that case, we must already be deep within the enemy's machinations. The constant stream of random assailants that we faced earlier was also most likely part of their plan. It may very well be that this building itself is also a trap. Yet, we lack the intelligence about this particular backstreets to be certain. However, we do have one minor advantage. It seems that they have severely underestimated our capabilities given the low caliber of assailants that they decided to send after us. One thing we can capitalize on is that mutual lack of intel. Keep our guard up, remain alert, and we should be able to navigate our way out of this trap, Executive Manager. Okay, I get it now. I'm sorry about the misunderstanding. Honestly, I didn't know who or what to trust. Then I would appreciate it if you could trust me fully next time. Lutus bowed politely and returned to her room. Force and I chatted a little more about King Tao and his plans, but our discussion ended without bearing much fruit. Alright, I guess that's a good place to call the episode. It's a half hour, that's nice. Until next time, guys, take care. I'll see you all around. It's not combat yet.
다리 기울었다. 뒷박질할 시간인가. 기대되는군. 오늘은 또 어떤 비칠갑이 벌어질지.